Hello and welcome on into the Kohl's Center here in Madison, Wisconsin. Along with Emilio Enriquez, I'm Theo Shernoff. Emilio, how are you doing today?
You know, it's a great night for hockey. Really excited to be here. Should be an exciting game, Theo.
High stakes Big Ten matchup on visiting ice. We're in Wisconsin. There's red all around the Kohl's Center. Stakes could not be bigger. Emilio, Michigan comes in, number 2 team in the country. They just swept Penn State, the number 6 team in the country. This is a big road task, though. Wisconsin, a pesky team, number 13 in the country. We'll get on them later, but Michigan certainly has the work cut out for them tonight.
You know, Theo, you said it. Michigan, the number 1 offense in the country right now, number 2 nationally ranked. Wisconsin is a tough task here tonight. Defensively, they're ranked number 37 in the country. So Michigan, pair that, their expansive depth with their talented roster, and they've had a pretty solid season thus far. It'll be interesting to see Wisconsin's response here. As we take a look at the last time these two teams played in Ann Arbor, they split the series. Wisconsin won the second game 6-1 and cruised to an easy victory as Michigan looks to get revenge here tonight at the Kohl's Center.
Teams lining up right now. Wisconsin starting lineups being announced. In goal for Michigan, Jack Ivankovic, one of the best in the West, in the nation. And for Wisconsin, a little bit of a new face in net. Eli Pulver will start. Daniel Hauser, their normal goaltender, is out for tonight's game. He suffered an injury in the first game against Ohio State last weekend. So Wisconsin playing a little shorthanded on defense in net and a little shorthanded on the blue line throughout their whole defense. Michigan, you said, Emilio, has one of the best power plays in the country. Wisconsin also has one of the best power plays in the country. Do you think that's a recipe to success for this game?
You know, I think it is, and I think something which you noted, which is going to be key, is the change in goal for Wisconsin. You know, if you're a goalie and you're making one of your first starts of the season, especially against an offense as powerful and as potent as Michigan, it's quite the challenge. You look at Michigan's big three and Hughes, Hage, and Horkoff. These are guys that have produced all season long. Hughes, 43 points on the season, leading the Wolverines, and he's a guy who they've really leaned on all season long.
We'll step away for the anthem. We'll be right back on WCBN Sports.
Presents our nation's colors. Now to honor America, please join us for the playing of the national anthem performed tonight by the University of Wisconsin Marching Band.
Welcome on back to the Kohl's Center. It's Winter Olympic season. The USA just won today against Slovakia. Now we got a battle in the Midwest of the USA between Wisconsin and Michigan. Michigan in their road blue uniforms. Block M, famous winged helmets, yellow numbering and white trim. Wisconsin lining up in their home whites with red numbering, lettering trim all around, and red helmets. Should be a good one. And Emilio, Michigan plays in Yost Ice Arena. That's a college hockey rink, right? A college hockey arena. This, the Kohl Center, is a Big Ten college basketball arena, which they fit hockey into. A lot more seats, a lot bigger of stands, and this is a packed Kohl Center tonight for this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a different environment here. Is, you know, Michigan a little more, the stadium's a little more intimate here. Here at the Kohl Center, it's your typical basketball stadium converted into a hockey rink, but packed crowd here tonight. Great night for hockey, and as you mentioned, USA, big win today as they'll advance to play Canada. Should be a great game. Hockey's in the air. It's that time of the year, Theo.
You're right. Canadians and Americans up and down these rosters, and teams heading to the bench ready for the opening puck drop. The big slanted W in the middle of the ice here in Madison. Michigan circling. They're ready for puck drop. TJ Hughes, the captain, will start things off with the face-off draw. We're here in road territory. When the crowd goes silent, we'll get loud. That means Michigan did something well. When the crowd grows loud, Wisconsin did something well. The whistle blows. We are ready to be underway here in Madison. Puck drop, and TJ Hughes wins the opening draw for the Wolverines. It's swung around the boards, gathered behind the net by Eli Pulver. His first touch of the night, the Wisconsin netminder. Back behind the net, Jaden Perron, a talented attacker for Michigan. Hands to Nick Moldenhauer. Back to Perron behind Wisconsin's net still. Wisconsin finally gets control, pressured by TJ Hughes. And Wisconsin finally exits their defensive zone. Through neutral ice, they dump one in. It's Morrissey who hits it off the skate of Luca Fantilli. Behind Michigan's net, the puck goes. Skates all the way around to Luke Osborne, defender for the Badgers. Behind Michigan's net, the puck stays. Wisconsin extended offensive zone time here. Finn Brink into the game, puts some pressure on it, and the puck squirts just outside the Wisconsin's offensive zone. Badgers will have to re-enter. Wisconsin in their own zone. Through neutral ice, they get a stick on the puck in the neutral zone, and it floats to Drew Schock for Michigan in Michigan's defensive zone. Osborne keeps it in. Brink chasing after it. Schock in pursuit. Grady Deering finds it for the Badgers. Moves it to Brink. Back up to Osborne at the blue line. Along the blue line, the puck flies. Into the center, it goes to Adam Pietzola. Takes a shot deflected by Ivan Kovic. Behind Michigan's net, Michigan finally gets control. Michael Hage moves it up to Malcolm Spence in the neutral zone. Finally, Will Horkoff has a chance in the offensive zone. Takes a fall, no arms in the air. We play on. Wisconsin the other way. Ben Robertson in pursuit for Michigan, and Simon Tassi smashes him into the wall behind Michigan's net. Still nothing. 18-19 remaining in the first period. Michigan gains control and goes through neutral ice. Cole McKinney now skates towards the crease, throws a puck through the crease. It was heading the wrong direction, goes back out to the blue line. Wisconsin moves it to neutral ice. Michigan in control in their own territory. Trying to move quick. Now a turnover in neutral ice. Wisconsin trying to enter the zone quickly.
Yeah, good pressure from Wisconsin there. Michigan's trying to regain control of the puck here as they push to the other side of the ice.
Valentini moves it to Perron. Back to McKinney behind Wisconsin's net. Moves it up to the blue line. Asher Barnett sends one, and it's a fluttering puck, a changeup, right down the slot. Valentini got control of the 17-year-old near the crease, but couldn't direct it on net. Finally, the puck gets directed in the general direction, but Eli Pulver just passes it to his own teammate, and Wisconsin's out and running. Zilanov for the Badgers sends it up into the offensive zone. Chasing after it, Dakota Rayo Mullen falls on top of the puck like a grenade. Quinn Finley controls for the Badgers, hits the puck into the back of Michigan's net. Can't score that way. Finley keeps on moving. Back to the blue line, the puck goes. Osborne moves it across the blue line. They send one in behind Michigan's net, and it's controlled by Michigan's Asher Barnett. Barnett moves it to Draper, moves it to Valentini, and they exit their defensive zone. Wisconsin still with control of the puck in neutral ice, has to re-enter. No shots on net for Michigan so far. Wisconsin does have one. Michigan controls in their own right circle. Puck goes to neutral ice. Josh Earnesty takes a hit in the neutral zone by Aiden Dubinsky, and Wisconsin controls off of that hit.
Yeah, Wisconsin really controlling the pace of the game so far. As a steal for Michigan.
Nick Moldenhauer, a one-on-one chance. Went high side, missed. Looked close, just whiffed on the right side. Wisconsin was controlling. That was Michigan's best chance of the night. Moldenhauer created a turnover in the defensive zone.
Yeah, great play from Michigan there as they had the opportunity for the shot, but couldn't convert there.
TJ Hughes controls for Michigan in their offensive zone, now loses it to Wisconsin in the neutral zone. Back to Luca Fantilli for Michigan in the neutral zone, moves it to Jaden Perron. Some deflected passes helps the puck find Luke Osborne for the Badgers, and they emerge to the neutral zone. Via Finn Brink, Wisconsin enters their offensive zone. Ivan Kovic controls behind his own net and moves it up. Turnover in the zone. Wisconsin takes a shot. Ivan Kovic eats it up. Ivan Kovic made a pass to the corner, and Draper made one more. It was a turnover pass. Wisconsin let it rip instead of handling towards the net. Ivan Kovic was ready for it. Nothing. 15:51 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, great save from Ivan Kovic there. He's really been a guy who stepped up. A freshman goalkeeper for the Michigan Wolverines. He's one of the reasons they've had so much success all season long, and another great save there.
Nashville Predators prospect. He got hurt earlier this year in the game against Notre Dame. Missed 6 games, but Stephen Peck went 6-0 in his replacement spot. It is Kobe's net, though, as they say. Cole McKinney controls for Michigan through the neutral zone. Sends a puck all the way around the yellow to the far side on the right to Aiden Park. Park tries to center to Valentini, loses his skates. McKinney now moves it back for Park on the right circle. Park sends one towards the crease, intended for Kason Musket, and he loses his skates. Turnover. Wisconsin the other way. Good defense by Michigan. Cole McKinney hustling back, intercepts a pass, and Michigan moves it up into their offensive zone. Wisconsin controls. Wisconsin dumps the puck deep in their offensive zone. 15-12 remaining in the first period. Still scoreless. Ben Robertson controls for Michigan. Moves it to Will Horkoff. He can't control the pass. Wisconsin now enters their offensive zone. A shot on the near side. Blocker save, Ivan Kovic. Jack Horbach was there for Wisconsin. Wisconsin controls the rebound. They move it deep. Horbach pressured by Robinson. Wisconsin tries a shot. Misses wide on the left side. Horkoff retrieves for Michigan. Battling up on the near side boards.
Yeah, Michigan having a hard time getting out of their zone here as Wisconsin continues to pressure, and they're getting good opportunities here.
Long offensive zone time for Wisconsin. Puck is held behind Michigan's net by a number of players. Finally, Malcolm Spence controls and moves it up. Will Horkoff in neutral ice sends it along the blue line to Michael Hage. Hage in pursuit of the puck. Gets there first and swings it behind Wisconsin's net along the boards to a teammate, Dakota Rayon Mullen. Rayon Mullen at the blue line, sends it back along the boards to Michael Hage. Hage skating after the puck, fetching, eventually finds it, moves it to Malcolm Spence. Spence to Rayon Mullen, throws on the brakes. Nifty stop, found Garrett Shifsky, tried a shot, missed high.
Good look for Michigan there as they finally are able to get it to the other side of the ice. They're putting a little more pressure on Wisconsin here.
Osborne controls for Wisconsin in their own zone. Palatichuk moves it up to neutral ice for Wisconsin. Here's Simon Tassi. Shot on net. Ivan Kovic glove save. That was Tyson Dick into the game. Ottawa Senators prospect, 1 of 3 for the Badgers. 13:45 remaining in the first period. Scoreless.
Yeah, it really feels like Wisconsin's controlling the pace of the game here. Again, another great save from Ivan Kovic, but Wisconsin not letting up. Michigan looking a little sluggish out there as the game has really been controlled on Michigan's side of the ice.
Yeah, Michigan's had a few fast breaks, but Wisconsin has had the majority of the offensive zone time. They win the opening draw in the left circle, and they throw a shot on net, immediately covered up by Ivan Kovic. Adds to the shot total, but Christian Fitzgerald is trying at a nearly impossible angle. Will reset with a face-off from that exact same spot. Left circle face-off in Wisconsin's offensive zone. 13:40 remaining in the first period. Wisconsin's already tallied 5 shots on net. Michigan has 1. TJ Hughes and Gavin Morrissey on the faceoff. 1 by Hughes for the Wolverines. Fantilli moves it behind his own net to Tyler Duke, the former Ohio State Buckeye, and they exit the zone with ease. Duke backhands it deep for Michigan. TJ Hughes, the first there behind Wisconsin's net. Centers it to the slot. Nick Moldenhauer tried to get to the puck to this backhand. Couldn't control it. Wisconsin controlled, but they can't exit their zone. Finally, they control with some space, and Osborne makes a turnover. Jaden Perron cut off the pass, and finally Morrissey got it ahead to Quinn Finley. Quinn Finley tries a shot on the ground, right pad save, Ivan Kovic. Wisconsin gets the rebound. Morrissey tries to center it to the slot, and Fitzgerald couldn't control the pass with his skate. Luca Fantilli controls behind Michigan's net.
Yeah, Wisconsin had a look there in the middle. They had a guy right in front of the goal, but great from Michigan, able to stop that pass and ultimately get the puck back.
Wisconsin fans not thrilled with Fantilli taking his time behind his own net. Finally exits and goes into Michigan's offensive zone. Controlled by Wisconsin. They move it out to neutral ice. Here comes a little breakaway. They have a man far post. It's deflected away by Cole McKinney. Cut off Weston Knox. Now a shot deflected in front of net. Ivan Kovic was blocked with his vision, but it got blocked by that same man who was shielding in front of the net. That was Finn Brink. Wisconsin in the slot, controls, lets a shot rip. It's Brink. He misses wide to the right. Eden Park hustling over with Ben Robertson for the Wolverines. Robertson takes a hit. Wisconsin gets a change off. Michigan looking to exit, and they finally do. McKinney to Park, and Park dumps it in. Michigan will change. They need it. Gassed legs on the ice. 11:56 remaining in the first period. Wisconsin controls, still scoreless. They move the puck behind Michigan's net. Dakota Rayo-Mullen tries to keep it moving. Cut off by Oliver Tolk. Tolk finds Joe Polotachuk, and Tolk tries to rip one from the right circle. It's blocked by Malcolm Spence for Michigan. Michigan the other way. Spence through the W in the middle, and Michigan was offsides as they entered the offensive zone. Looked like Will Horkoff was running far post, a little in front of the puck. 11:34 remaining in the first period. It's scoreless. There's a timeout on the ice. Emilio, Wisconsin won that first segment of the game.
100%, Theo. They've had a ton of opportunities. Michigan really struggling to gain control of the puck and gain control of this game so far. Wisconsin's on the attack, and Michigan just doesn't seem to have answers defensively.
We think about what this game means for both sides, right? There's plenty at stake here. They're both fighting for spots in the Big Ten tournament, for standings in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan currently at number 2 in the country, number 2 in the Big Ten. Michigan State stands in between them and the first spot. State beat Notre Dame last night. They're up on Notre Dame again tonight, so they should get 6 points on the weekend. That puts pressure on Michigan to pick up 6 or 5 of their own. They're trying to get that bye in the Big Ten tournament first round. Again, there's 7 teams. The first gets the bye. 2 through 4 get home games, and that's where Wisconsin comes in. They're sitting right now at the number 4 spot behind Penn State and the Michigan schools, looking to fend off Ohio State at 5th. There's plenty to play for here.
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, you're looking ahead towards the end of the season. These last few series are huge, and especially against an opponent like Michigan, who they've had success with before. Like we mentioned, they beat Michigan at home at Ann Arbor 6-1. So they should really come into this game with some confidence and really use that as they enter the later half of the season. But again, you look at rankings, they're number 13 right now, and I don't know if they can afford any more losses.
They're on the bubble. It's the penultimate Big Ten series. Wisconsin has Penn State next week in State College, so no easy task. Looking to go 2-2 to finish the regular season to ensure they have a chance on the bubble heading into the Big Ten tournament. Badgers lose the opening draw, finds Michigan in their offensive zone. Asher Barnett at the blue line, skates the blue line, and reverses course to Malcolm Spence. Spence move it, still no penalties here tonight. Wisconsin controls in their own territory. They emerge and into neutral ice, into Michigan's offensive zone. Tassi moves it to Pietila, but Michael Hage takes it away. Hage skates, crosses the blue line himself, handles, tries to split 4 Badgers. Not a great idea, loses the puck in his offensive zone. Wisconsin takes it away, but Will Horkoff picks it up and dumps it deep for the Wolverines so they can all change.
You got to give credit to Wisconsin. We mentioned Michigan, the number 1 offense in the country entering the game, and they've shut them down so far.
Michigan controls. 10:43 left in the first period, still scoreless. Tyler Duke behind the Badger net with Garrett Shifsky. Duke trying to fend off a Wisconsin defender, and it looks like Weston Knox got there, then lost it. Out to the point, Michigan goes. Fantilli tries a shot. It's blocked. Draper now back to Duke. Duke lets one fly, misses wide to the left. Pulver did not get good eyes on that. Was surprised when it hit the backboards. Here's Fantilli. Drag shot through the slot. Gets blocked. Picked up by Jack Horbach for the Badgers, and they leave their defensive zone. Michigan controls the neutral zone. Enters right back in again. Shifsky goes kitty corner. Far side. Cut off by Perron. Perron in pursuit for Michigan. And Osborne controls for the Badgers. Now behind his own net, has teammates to play keep away on Jaden Perron. Perron pressuring up against the backboards. Joe Palatichuk. Wisconsin still trying to have a clean zone exit. And finally, a high lofted puck does the job. And Wisconsin, Quinn Finley wins the race to the backboards to prevent icing. A near holding call did not get called, but Michigan was in a dangerous spot in their own territory, almost a penalty. Wisconsin, though, miscommunication, has the puck leak out of their offensive zone all the way back towards their own red line. They send the puck all the way around to Jack Ivankovic behind his own net. Covey moves it on the right circle. Morrissey picks it up and moves it to Fitzgerald. Cut off by Drew Schock. Schock takes a hit from Fitzgerald behind his own net, and Quinn Finley moves it for the Badgers. They have a man in front of the net, but they couldn't find him. Aiden Dubinsky, the defenseman behind Michigan's net, was a little out of position, looking for a cross, couldn't get it off. Michigan, enough sticks in the way, but now here's Quinn Finley. Left circle, tries a shot. Glove save, Ivankovic couldn't catch it. Deflected off the backboards. Puck goes all the way out to neutralize. Wisconsin has to enter again. They decide to dump it and change. Michigan, a long defensive shift now. Ben Robertson takes a hit from Simon Tassi. Puck's on the right circle for the Badgers. They control. Try a shot. Hits iron off the post on the right side. Goes all the way to the left side, and it's caught by a fan in the stands. That was a hard shot. 8:40 remaining in the first period. Still scoreless here in Madison. Ivankovic's been tested a couple times. He's held up to the task.
Yeah, big hit there. You said it. Ivankovic's been great. I'm liking what I'm seeing with from Michigan right now. It feels like their offense is playing with a little more urgency as Wisconsin controls the puck right now.
They win the opening draw and try a one-timer, missed wide to the left. Michigan controls in their own zone. Musket moves it for the Wolverines. Now here's Cole McKinney. Cole McKinney finds Musket, and he tries a shot, gets deflected, and goes out of play. I lost the puck there for a second. Goes out of play behind the Badgers' net, so it will be a face-off on the right circle for the Wolverines. 8:24 remaining in the first period. Still scoreless. Again, this Badger team is shorthanded. Their starting netminder, Daniel Hauser, out. Hensler, out. Badgers missing a number of healthy players. Kyle Kukkonen was a healthy scratch on the night. Badgers trying to go 500 down the stretch, if not better, to give themselves a better at-large chance at making the tournament. Dexheimer controls after winning the faceoff in their own zone. Moves it to Palatichuk. The captain and alternate captain exit for Wisconsin. Puck goes behind Michigan's net. Here's Dakota Rayo Mullen. Pressed up against the near side boards. Two Badgers, two Wolverines there. Wisconsin finally emerges with Grady Deering. Deering tries a shot, misses wide on the left side. Rebound stays with Ben Dexheimer. Dexheimer moves it. Palatichuk makes a man miss. Left circle, falls to his knees, whiffs on a shot. Hit off the back of the net. Wisconsin in the slot, finds the puck. Blocked out front by Malcolm Spence. One-timer on the far side by the Badgers. Rebound chance. Save, save, save. They try to punch it in the back of the net. Ivankovic stands on his head, and there's spikes behind the Wolverine net. Kovic makes 3 straight saves, and the Badger fans are banging up against the boards behind the net. We're still scoreless. 7:36 remaining in the first period. Case and Musket mixing it up with a number of Badgers. Grady Deering was in there. Asher Barnett was in there. All 10 skaters will leave the ice. Still scoreless thanks to Jack Ivankovic.
Ivankovic, the freshman sensation. I mean, there were so many opportunities there for Wisconsin, and he stayed calm and composed and made the saves. And the Wolverines, you love to see it, protecting their goalkeeper there as they didn't let anything happen to them, and that little bit of extracurriculars after the play. But you got to give it to the freshman. I mean, this is something he's done all season long, and that hasn't changed here tonight. It's almost surprising it's scoreless given the amount of attempts that Wisconsin's had.
9 shots on net, and some have been great chances. Ivankovic's made saves on all of them. Michigan wins the faceoff. Malcolm Spence emerges via Will Horkoff. Sends it deep. Michael Hage in pursuit. Spence now behind the Badger net. Along the boards it goes. Finds Quinn Finley and Gavin Morrissey, and they emerge for Wisconsin. Here's Morrissey, alternate captain, center on the top line. Moves it for Fitzgerald right side. Sends it along the boards deep, and no one's home for Wisconsin. Michigan controls and clears. Fantilli to Spence. Spence whiffs on an entrance, and it's a turnover in the neutral zone. Fitzgerald has Palachuk running far side. Zilanoff. Fitzgerald hangs, shoots. Ivan Kovic takes a huge hit out in front, and there's going to be a mix-up in front of the net. Ivan Kovic, his 4th game back from an injury that happened that exact same way. Plays blown dead. Christian Fitzgerald lost an edge as he was attacking, hit Ivan Kovic hard, and he's going to make it to the penalty box. Christian Fitzgerald is, if he doesn't get assaulted on the way there by one of Michigan's defensemen. Ivan Kovic currently being tended to by a trainer for Michigan. His helmet flew off. He was into his own net. Ivan Kovic missed 6 games over a month with an injury, and now he's sitting up on his knees in his own net. 6:52 remaining in the first period. Christian Fitzgerald will have the first penalty of the night. Recklessly ran into Jack Ivan Kovic, and Michigan did not retaliate enough to warrant a penalty of their own. Wolverines will go on the power play, but right now the priority is Jack Ivan Kovic okay?
You're right, Theo. If you're a Wolverines fan, this is not something you want to see. You mentioned it before. He's been out already this season, and the reason this game is still scoreless is because of that man right there. Ivan Kovic has been great all game long, and he took a hard hit. His head, it looked like, hit the ice in the back of the net. His helmet came off. He was clearly shaken up afterwards, as he seems to be doing okay now.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stay in the game.
It looks like it. Helmet off. He's skating around, kind of just trying to gain some calmness in that moment of commotion there. You've got to give it to him. He's been gone after all night long in terms of shots from Wisconsin, and took a really hard hit there.
He should get a 2-minute break here, as Michigan will be on the power play. Again, 6:52 remaining in the first period. It is scoreless. Wolverines' first power play opportunity of the night. We'll see who Brandon Naurato rolls out for Michigan's power play. He's experimented with all types of lines, up to 2 defensemen or 0 defensemen. Right now he's trotting out what looks like their B unit on the power play, as their A unit was just on the ice as Ivan Kovic took a hit. Ivan Kovic back to his crease, and it will be Malcolm Spence, TJ Hughes, Aiden Park, looks like a Dakota Rayo Mullen sighting, and Nick Moldenhauer. So maybe 1 defenseman, 4 attackers for this power play, more orthodox. Maybe it's Ben Robertson instead of Dakota Rayo Mullen. Michigan wins the opening faceoff, and they control behind Wisconsin's net. Badgers trying to clear. Ben Robertson knocks it down at the blue line, moves it for Nick Moldenhauer behind Wisconsin's net. Malcolm Spence gets his stick caught up, and Wisconsin is able to exit. Puck goes all the way down to Ivan Kovic behind his own net. No icing because Michigan is on the power play. 6:25 remaining in the first period. Michigan on the power play, still 1:30 remaining. Jaden Perron now enters right circle for the Wolverines. Puts on the brakes, drops it back for Ben Robertson at the point. Robertson moves it back to Perron, takes his space in the slot, drags, shoots, saved by Pulver. Wisconsin clears, and now they have a shorthanded opportunity. Quinn Finley the other way. Puts on the brakes, goes far side, shot, saved by Ivan Kovic. The crowd thought it was in. Ivan Kovic shut the door. TJ Hughes the other way. Nick Moldenhauer drops Ben Robertson, far side in front, score! The Michigan Wolverines take a 1-0 lead after a heroic save by Jack Ivan Kovic. Quick passing, tic-tac-toe, TJ Hughes puts the Wolverines on top 1-0. The captain breaks the scoreless tie early on.
Great job from the Michigan Wolverines capitalizing there on the power play. But, you know, it's been the name we've mentioned all night. That's Ivan Kovic. That goal would not be possible without that save right there. And it really speaks to what he's done all season. And it speaks to his toughness here. We see him getting hit just moments ago, despite that, able to make a huge save, which ultimately results in a Michigan goal.
Wisconsin looks to be challenging what happened on the ice, so we'll let you know more when we know more. But as of right now, the penalty, the offensive penalty by Christian Fitzgerald, leads to a shorthanded chance for Wisconsin, a save by Ivan Kovic, and then a quick goal on the other side for the Wolverines. We'll see what the ruling is on the ice. Well, the ruling on the ice is a goal. We'll see what the ruling is after the review. Wisconsin's head coach, Mike Hastings, electing for a live review. We're getting the ruling now. The Wisconsin challenge is successful. So no goal. The goal is wiped off the ice. And it was offsides on Michigan. That's the likely ruling. Offsides as they were re-entering the offensive zone. Looked like Nick Moldenhauer did not drag his back skate on the right side over the blue line. So after the nifty passing by Michigan, results still scoreless. There's still 60 seconds left on the power play, but a goal wiped off the board for the Wolverines. And a successful challenge by Mike Hastings. Him and his team were ready. Michigan back on the power play, has to regain their composure. Adam Valentini enters for the Wolverines right circle on his backhand. Behind Wisconsin's net, moves it to Aiden Park. The puck just leaks out of the zone. Michigan will have to re-enter. 36 seconds left on the power play. 5:25 remaining in the first period, still scoreless. Will Horkoff drops it back to the blue line. Dakota Rayo Mullen. Rayo Mullen takes his time across the blue line. Will Horkoff, a one-timer. Pad save by Pulver. And Wisconsin controls behind their own net. It's moved along to Michael Hage. And he kind of lazily loses the puck with 15 seconds left on the power play. Wisconsin controls. They send it deep with Jack Horbach. And with 9 seconds left on the power play, that might do it. Michigan looks like they are going to go scoreless in this power play. Crazy turn of events there. Up to a 2-goal swing, and it ends scoreless. 5-on-5 play. Under 5 to play in the first period. Michigan exits their defensive zone into their offensive zone. Josh Ernest in pursuit, and Wisconsin controls behind their own net. They exit to the neutral zone, but Michigan forces a turnover and controls. Keenan Draper flicks it in deep, and Ernest in pursuit after the puck. Lays a hit down on Jack Phelan. Wisconsin still moves the puck behind their own net. Finally, Ben Dexheimer has a little bit of breathing room. Chips it up, and it's caught at the line by Luca Fantilli. Sets it down at his feet, tries to send it around. It's blocked. Wisconsin exits through the neutral zone. They dump it deep, and there's a whistle right at the boards near the benches. It looks like the puck might have hit a Michigan player in his own zone, in his own bench, 4:11 left in the first. Scoreless, Emilio. What a turn of events.
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, you got to love what you're seeing here. Again, Michigan, the #1 offense in the country. Wisconsin not doing great defensively this year, 37th in the country, but they've held their own. They've got the home crowd behind them, and as you mentioned, quite the turn of events. It was Michigan 1-0, now it's 0-0 as we enter the latter stages of the first period. Michigan trying to get something going offensively.
Face-off in the center of the W. It's won by Michigan, sent deep. Cole McKinney retrieves behind the Badger net. Sends a pass in front, deflected away by Weston Knox for the Badgers. Now McKinney's pressing up on Knox. And Michigan controls in the slot out of nowhere. Kaysen Musket let one fly. Blocker saved by Pulver. Good save. Musket found gold in the middle of the slot. Wisconsin exits to the neutral zone. Now they have speed. They try a shot. Glove save, Ivan Kovic. Blake Montgomery was the man on the 1-on-0 advantage. Tried to go high left side. Ivan Kovic, that's where his glove lies. He was ready for it. 3:36 remaining in the first. Still scoreless.
Yeah, both goalies really stepping up tonight. As we mentioned before, Eli Pulver, not Wisconsin's day-to-day starter in the net, but he's also had a great game. I know we've mentioned Ivan Kovic's name quite a bit, but both teams a good amount of opportunities here, and we still sit at 0-0.
In the Kohl Center here in Madison, still scoreless. Asher Barnett controls for Michigan. Moves it forward to Jaden Perron, who sends it behind Wisconsin's net. Pulver out of his crease controls, but Dakota Rayo Mullen grabs it at the blue line. Tries a shot on net, deflected by Nick Moldenhauer, his own man in front. Wisconsin controls. They exit with Ben Dexheimer. Tries to send it up to Ryan Botterill, but Botterill couldn't control the puck. That was just a couple inches off the ground. Goes all the way to the far side. It will be icing. No touch in the neutral zone for the Badgers. Michigan will have an offensive zone face-off coming up on the right circle. 3:15 remaining in the first. No score. Michael Hage on the face-off for Michigan. Along with Christian Fitzgerald. Goes behind Wisconsin's net. Malcolm Spence there. He resets to Will Horkoff. Whiffs on a shot in the slot. Moves it along. Now Spence, a one-timer. Saved off the face of Eli Pulver. Keeps it out of the back of his net. Asher Barnett controls in neutral ice. Moves it to Michael Hage. Hage with a head of steam. Back to Horkoff in the slot. Spence one-timer, redirected in front. Looks like a broken stick by Joe Palatichuk. Might have saved a goal, but lost his stick. He's playing without a stick. Michigan controls in their offensive zone. Tyler Duke, Malcolm Spence. Will Horkoff, a one-timer from the point out front. In front, Michael Hage takes a hit, and he falls down head on the ice. Michigan still playing. Delayed penalty coming for the Wolverines. They control. Ivan Kovic's off the ice. The whistle blows. There will be a cross-check coming on the Badgers. 2:27 remaining in the first period. And it is a cross-check. Grady Deering will go to the box. The freshman from Des Moines, Iowa. Take a seat in detention. Michigan, another power play.
Yeah, Grady Deering, that one seemed pretty obvious there. As Michigan's going to look to capitalize here. Again, power plays have been the name of the game for Michigan all season long. They've scored very efficiently, and it'll be something that they'll look to do here right now.
30.6% on the power plays. Badgers 73.5% on the penalty kill. Badgers win the opening draw. They send it the length of the ice. Ivan Kovic controls behind his own net. Michigan, their A unit on for the power play right now, but they've mixed up that A unit all season long. Jaden Perron enters with TJ Hughes. Drops it back. Ben Robertson at the point. Back to Hughes, left circle. Looking for Spence in the bumper. Drops it back to Robertson. Blue line pass, Nick Moldenhauer. Tries a shot. High. It's deflected. And it goes out of play behind the Wisconsin net. We'll do another face-off. Pulver might have gotten a piece of it, or it might have gotten touched before it reached him. Still scoreless with 2:01 left in the first. Wisconsin's registered 12 shots on net. Michigan, only 5.
Yeah, you mentioned Michigan's efficiency in the power play. They're first in the country here, and they've had a lot of opportunities, yet it's still scoreless. So, again, Michigan's offense a little more dormant than usual tonight.
Michigan wins the draw, drops it back to the blue line. Ben Robertson keeps it in. Jaden Perron taking his space, finds Robertson. Just scored his first goal in the most recent game. Perron, far side. It's Moldenhauer. Finds TJ Hughes, left circle, taking his time, looking for an opening. Ben Robertson at the point. Back to Hughes. Cross ice pass Perron. Goes down low. Blumper. Moldenhauer whiffs to the right side. Good passing out in front. Michigan couldn't capitalize. Wisconsin finally gets control, and they backhand it the length of the ice. They'll get a change off. Halfway through this power play, 1:25 remaining in the first. Michigan has one more chance to capitalize on the man advantage. It's Adam Valentini in neutral ice for Michigan. Puts on the brakes, waits for Michael Hage. Hage enters the blue line. In the offensive zone, go the Wolverines. Chops it back to Dakota Rayo Mullen. Defenseman moves it back to Hage, right circle. Hage takes his space into the right corner. Behind his back pass, Will Horkoff. Horkoff, right circle. Tries a shot. Score! Will Horkoff notches his 22nd goal of the season. And the Michigan power play on a really tough angle from Horkoff via 5-hole, it looks like, will take a 1-0 lead with under a minute to play in the first. Finally came through, Emilio.
Yeah, you said it, Theo. Will Horkoff, he's been that guy all season long. 21 goals on the season, now 22, leading Michigan second nationally. And as Michigan takes a 1-0 lead here.
You could hear a pin drop, as they say, in the Kohl Center. The Michigan power play pump faked a goal on the first one. A review took that one away. The second time, Michigan scores on the power play. And now, speaking of power plays, looks like Michigan's going to have to sit a man right here. An early whistle after the restart, and Josh Ernest will get called for tripping. So the fans for Wisconsin, after falling silent after going down 1-0, will now have something to get excited about. Ernest, a penalty, and Wisconsin back on the power play. The first time tonight they're on the power play. But another power play, another man advantage for the Badgers. Gavin Morrissey wins the draw. It'll be a split power play if it gets that far for Wisconsin. Dexheimer sends one through the crease. He goes far side, Morrissey. Now here's Dexheimer at the point. Far side, back to Dexheimer. Thinks about a one-timer. Now sends it out in front. A lot of bodies there. Cole McKinney cuts it off. 25 seconds remaining in the first period. 1-0 Michigan. Wisconsin behind their own net. on the power play. Michigan on the penalty kill. 90 seconds remaining on that. Now there's 15 left in the period. Morrissey tries to fake a shot, swings it along to Tassi. Tassi couldn't quite control it, but Wisconsin still controls in their offensive zone. Far side, they try to split one through the Michigan defense. Morrissey couldn't control. The puck's lifted out of the Michigan defensive zone, but out of play altogether. So 2.5 seconds left in the first period. Michigan leads 1-0, and there's a minute 19 remaining on the power play. So Wolverines have 2,500 milliseconds to kill before they get to go into the break with a 1-0 lead. But then Wisconsin will have a power play coming up in the ensuing period. Michigan wins the draw, and the horn sounds. The Wolverines will go into the locker room up 1-0. Work to do in the second. But Emilio, a period that Wisconsin dominated for the majority of it, Michigan exits with a 1-0 lead. If you're head coach Brandon Naurato, you got to be somewhat happy with that.
I think so. Again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that's exactly what Michigan did here today. They came out a little flat, but what is important is they capitalized on their opportunities. They took advantage of the power play, and ultimately, towards the ends of the period, Wisconsin was on their toes a little bit. And instead of being the ones controlling the puck, Michigan was really in control for the end of that first period.
After 20 minutes, Michigan leads 1-0. We'll be back after the intermission on WCBN Sports. Don't go anywhere.
Tonight's first intermission health examiner kid is Brayden from Elkhorn.
Okay, fans, it's time for our second fan appreciation giveaway. Tonight's lucky winner of a $100 Bucky Locker Room gift card is ticket number 947350. Again, that ticket number is 947350. If that's
to see yourself on the video board to share your experience of tonight's game? Scan the QR code on the video board to see your photos as part of tonight's game day at the Full Center. Presented by Orvis. Special thanks to UW Health for their being a cornerstone partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Did you win a bingo? If you've been playing along and got bingo, please head to the Wisconsin table in section 117 to claim your prize, thanks to Cousin Sons. And Badger fans, if the team scores in the second period, so do you. Make sure to look up the rafters during the second intermission. If the Badgers score a goal during the second period, there's some parachute prizes presented by students, fans, and alumni last fall who teamed up with Abbott and the Big Ten in the weekend club competition that helped save over 200,000 lives. Thanks to the incredible Badger community who showed up and donated, Wisconsin won the blood drive competition with the most donations across all the Big Ten universities. You can't stop now. Keep giving blood and keep saving lives.
Welcome on back to the Kohl Center here in Madison. Michigan holds a 1-0 lead after the first period. It was a very back and forth first period. I'd argue Wisconsin won that period, but Michigan emerges with a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal by Will Horkov, assists by Dakota Rayo Mullen and Michael Hage. Emilio, Wisconsin coming out on the power play in this next period. What are you looking for out of Michigan to shut that down?
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's going to be coming out hot. They really want to utilize this power play as they fell behind late there in that first period. If you're Michigan defensively, you look at the goalkeeper position. Ivan Kovic has been great, and so that's a guy that they're really going to lean on, especially during this power play. But I think they have to reduce Wisconsin's shots. They gave them a lot of opportunities in the first period, and even though Ivan Kovic was able to save them, that is not sustainable throughout this game. So again, if you're Michigan, try and reduce the open looks for Wisconsin and not let them take advantage of this power play.
We drove the 6.5 grueling Midwest hours this morning to get here to the Kohl Center, and Wisconsin faithful showed out the student section all throughout the left side behind the net on the bottom and top levels, and the third level has some pretty solid representation through and through. So a packed Kohl Center for a matchup where Wisconsin's hosting a top 2 team and a rival in the Wolverines. We're about to get underway in the second period. 1-0 Michigan. 4 Wolverines on the ice as Josh Earnesty's in the box. 5 Badgers. Morrissey wins the draw for Wisconsin, back to Ben Dexheimer. Wisconsin sets up their attack on the power play. Morrissey right side moves it to Tassi. Tassi back to Morrissey, and the Badgers a little out of sorts as the puck stayed right on that blue line and then moved just beyond it. Still 60 seconds remaining in the power play. Dexheimer, left side, moves it. Now far side, Fitzgerald in the Michigan zone. They've entered. Back to Dexheimer, skates along the blue line from right to left. Dexheimer takes his time, sends a shot, blocked out in front. Simon Tassi tried to avoid it. Looks like he might have gotten in the way of Ivan Kovic, but nevertheless, Quinn Finley controls on the right side for Wisconsin. Dexheimer sends a one-timer. Ivan Kovic save. Rebound try, and it's flicked away by Michigan. On net at that, so Eli Pulver has to go down to a knee and stop it. Another save by Ivan Kovic, 23 seconds remaining in the power play.
Yeah, another great save, but if you're Michigan, you don't want to be allowing those types of looks for Wisconsin as the Badgers look to capitalize here, and a great opportunity there. Just a better save.
Wisconsin tried to enter. Tyson Dick and Luke Osborne not on the same page. 3 seconds remaining on this power play, 18:45 remaining in the period, and Michigan's back to full strength as they control in their own zone. Ben Robertson exits. Josh Earnesty, fresh out of the box, gets a touch on the puck in neutral ice, couldn't skate up to it. Wisconsin controls with Vasily Zelenov. Russian through neutral ice, sends it deep behind Michigan's net. Drew Schott controls for the Wolverines. Up the ice he sends it. Jaden Perron at the blue line, enters, puck on his backhand, floats it in front, blocked away by Pulver. Michigan controls at the blue line, though. Schock sends one kitty corner. Rayo Mullen there for the Wolverines, throws on the brakes and goes back to the right circle. Now back up to the point. Dakota Rayo Mullen still controls, sends a shot through the slot, saved by Pulver. Perron controls, turns around, tries to send one, blocked by the Badgers, trying to exit their own zone, and they do. Blake Montgomery got enough of it to scoot it out past the blue line. Michigan trying to re-enter. Wisconsin denies them, and now a little bit of a breakaway for Montgomery and the Badgers. Montgomery's towards the slot, tries a shot, blocked by Drew Schock, and it's cleared away by Michigan. 17:38 remaining in the second period. Still 1-0 Michigan. They killed off a power play that was split between the first 2 periods. Wisconsin now behind Michigan's neck. The puck goes. Controlled by the Badgers. Pietola now loses it to Michigan, and a high pass through neutral ice. And that goes on net, so it's not icing. Is controlled by Wisconsin. Jack Phelan moves it behind his own net, and now Wisconsin takes a breath behind their own net. Phelan sends one through neutral ice, tried to connect with a Badger who was exiting the ice on a substitution. It will be icing, and that's just a minor mistake that sets Wisconsin's attack back to their own zone. Still 1-0, 17:04 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, both teams gassed in those last few, let's say 30 seconds. We talked about it before the period. Michigan did exactly what they needed to do to make sure Wisconsin didn't capitalize on that power play. But again, if you're Michigan, you don't want to give Wisconsin those opportunities and those looks, especially in front of the goal. Ivan Kovic has been great, but eventually those shots will begin to fall for Wisconsin.
78% on the penalty kill for Michigan holds true. And now they control in Wisconsin's own zone. And now a penalty coming on, looks like Michigan. Will Horkoff got mixed up, and it looks like it will be offsetting penalties. There is a mix-up in Wisconsin's defensive zone. Horkoff might have retaliated on Wisconsin, so we'll see So we'll see who gets sent to the box. Horkoff in the box, and we'll see if a Badger follows him in there. Might be just Michigan. I'm sure Narado will have a word. Waiting for the ruling here. 16:55 remaining in the second period. 1-0, and Quinn Finley's getting a talking to by the officials, and the officials are beckoning for someone to get off of that Wisconsin bench and head towards the penalty box. Still a discussion at center ice. It will be a face-off in Wisconsin's own defensive zone. Horkoff's already sat down on the bench, on the box. So interference on Horkoff, and for Wisconsin, it will be number 26, Weston Knox, who had roughing. So Knox in the box, Horkoff in the box. 4-on-4 play, open ice here.
Yeah, you love physical hockey there. We just saw a little scuffle, two players ending up in the box, but you see the passion on both sides here. It'll be interesting to see how it shapes up in this 4-on-4 match.
2 minutes of 4-on-4 play. Michael Hage skates in the neutral zone. Evading defenders, enters the offensive zone, and drops it back. Now Valentini at the point. Has a lot of room in the slot. Drags, goes 5-hole. Saved by the stick of Eli Pulver. Wisconsin controls any rebound. Dexheimer behind his own net. Good chance there for the 17-year-olds. Wisconsin now in neutral ice. Quinn Finley, New York Islanders prospect, loses the puck, trying to evade Wolverines. Finally regains it, sends it around the boards. Morrissey controls and now loses it for the Badgers. Wolverines the other way. A little bit of an odd man rush. Michigan might elect to slow things down. Fantilli sends it far side. Tyler Duke keeps it moving, sends it behind the Wisconsin net. Here's TJ Hughes. Drops it back to Perron. Perron keeps the blue line and enters towards the right circle. Throws on the brakes. Michigan changes occasionally. And now Perron, with a lot of circles, goes back towards the blue line, moves it to Ben Robertson. Cornell transfer, been a big piece for the Wolverines. Goes towards the slot. Has space in the slot. Gets blocked in front. Pulver got a pad on it. TJ Hughes was there far side. Couldn't get enough of the puck to direct it into the net. But now here's Hughes behind the Wisconsin net. 37 seconds remaining on 4-on-4 play. 15:30 remaining in the second period. And it will be offsides as TJ Hughes let the puck go just beyond the blue line. So Michigan will have to re-enter after a long sustained period of control. 15:28 remaining in the second period. Still 34 seconds left on the 4-on-4.
Yeah, Michigan had a few great looks there. Valentini had it in the middle, tried to pass, hesitated a bit, could have had an opportunity there, but if you're Wisconsin, you have to be happy with how Pulver's playing thus far.
Face-off won by Michigan. Cole McKinney controls, moves it to Asher Barnett on the right circle. Drops it back to the blue line. Musket sends one in front. McKinney's there, tries to punch in a rebound. Jack Phelan played strong defense, didn't allow it. 4-on-4 play, 15 more seconds of it. Wisconsin controls in their own territory. Oliver Tolk through neutral ice into his offensive zone. Tolk for the Badgers, throws on the brakes, drops the puck back, and thought he had Joe Polotachuk there waiting, and Polotachuk was not there, so the puck goes all the way back to Wisconsin's territory. And now icing by the Badgers as no one touched the puck in neutral ice. Emilio, there's just a number of miscommunications by Wisconsin, little things that disrupt momentum, and I'd argue that's the reason that despite the shot disparity, which is 15-8 15 to 11 in favor of Wisconsin. It's 1-0 Michigan.
Theo, you're exactly right. Against an offense as good as Michigan, you can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes. And if you're Wisconsin going forward, they're really going to have to clean it up if they want to get out of here with a victory.
Michigan is undefeated in game 1s of series. They have not lost the first game. They have 5 losses on the year. They've all come on the latter of the 2 games. Michigan controls in their offensive zone. It will be icing, though, as they did not get a touch on the puck in the neutral zone. So a defensive zone faceoff for the Wolverines. So the Badgers looking to upset a trend of Michigan being very successful in game 1s. And they have an offensive zone faceoff here with 14:35 remaining in the second period. 1-0 Wolverines.
Yeah, if there's a team to upset this trend, why not Wisconsin? I mean, they beat them 6-1, you know.
The most dominant win of the season over
Exactly.
Michigan. Wisconsin wins the draw. Palanichuk sends one from the blue line wide to the left side. Ivan Koch tried to get his blocker on it. Fantilli moves it for Michigan. And Wisconsin's Dexheimer cuts it off on the right circle on the offensive zone. Trying to wrap it around for Wisconsin was Horbach. Didn't quite have the angle. Michigan got enough of it to send it the length of the ice, but it's not icing. The puck rolled too slow. So Ben Dexheimer controls for Wisconsin, drops it back to Vasily Zelenov. Zelenov drops back to Dexheimer. Dexheimer behind his own net. 13:57 remaining in the second period. 1-0 Michigan. Badgers exit their zone, make a turnover in the neutral ice. Ben Robertson controls, moves it to Michael Hage. Now Will Horkoff gets a touch on the puck, sends it behind Wisconsin's net. First one there, Malcolm Spence. Moves it along for Will Horkoff, who goes back behind Wisconsin's net. In front, TJ Hughes tried to cross a pass through the crease, and Pulver steered it away. Wisconsin trying to exit. Quinn Finley couldn't get it by Michael Hage. Now Malcolm Spence sends it deep. Wisconsin still trying to control and exit. Finally, the puck finds Palanichuk, uses his own goal as a screen, exits his zone. Grady Deering now for Wisconsin, controls behind Michigan's net. Ben Robertson pressuring him, pushes him up against the boards. Wisconsin D-to-D pass. Out front, Dubinsky sends one behind Michigan's net. Pietola there, the Michigan native. 3 Michigan natives for Wisconsin on this roster, playing against their hometown team in Wisconsin. In front, the puck goes. Deering tries to stuff it in. Ivan Kovic's pad was there. Finds Deering again. He tries a one-timer. Ivan Kovic saves it. Left side circle now. Wisconsin still controls after a number of rebounds. 12:43 remaining in the second period. Michigan still up 1. Puck in the slot finds Aiden Dubinsky. Long shot. Score. They missed off the crossbar. Rebound and a goal. Quinn Finley rebounds it home. Looked like the first shot might have gone in by Dubinsky, and Finley made sure of it. A very long defensive zone shift for the Wolverines results in a Wisconsin goal, and this home crowd's back into it. 1-1 in Madison. Badgers tie it up.
Yeah, Wisconsin took advantage of that long defensive shift, as you mentioned. You know, Ivan Kovic's been great all night long, but what did we say? We said Michigan can't keep allowing those types of opportunities, and Wisconsin got a great look there and a great shot to tie this game up at 1.
They hit crossbar. Quinn Finley looked like he rebounded it in. And they say if Quinn Finley's playing well, Wisconsin's playing well. Finley picks up a goal. Michigan the other way, quickly a shot through the crease. They had a chance to go right back on top, and they couldn't punch it home. Just missed on the left side. Nick Moldenhauer had an opportunity. Wisconsin the other way. 12:11 remaining in the second. Asher Barnett cuts off a Wisconsin attack. Dakota Rayo Mullen moves it behind his own net for Michigan, and they lift it out of their own zone into a bench of the Wolverines. Michigan up 1-0 after 1. Wisconsin finds that goal right back with 8 minutes left in the second. 8 minutes into the second, excuse me. It's 1-1, Badgers and Wolverines.
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, you have to feel happy about that. In that possession, they did a great job controlling the puck and applying the pressure on Michigan's defense. And again, Ivan Kovic's had a great game here tonight, but eventually, if Wisconsin's taking that many shots, they're going to eventually have some success there. As Wisconsin ties it up 1 apiece here It'll be interesting to see how Michigan responds. Again, their offense has been a little slow so far, although after their goal, we've seen a lot more pressure.
19 shots for the Badgers, 12 for the Wolverines. 12 minutes remaining in the second period. It's 1-1. A little timeout on the ice. This Cole Center just got right back into the game with that goal. Quinn Finley was the one who capitalized. Dubinsky and Deering picking up assists.
Yeah, you mentioned it, this home crowd behind their team here. I don't think I see an empty seat. It's a packed arena here. Friday night hockey, 1-1. Couldn't have asked for a better game.
Center circle face-off. We're back underway. Michigan wins, and they exit the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Controlling is Aiden Park. Tries to drop it back. It's intercepted by Simon Tassi for the Badgers. Badgers in their offensive zone. Move it forward with Ryan Botterill. Behind Michigan's net. The puck goes all the way to the far side. Joe Palatichuk out in front. He sends a shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. A little bit of empty space in the net. Wisconsin couldn't get in front of it. Dexheimer sends one. It's blocked by Valentini in front. Now Dexheimer, another one, goes high of the net. Wisconsin still pressuring in their offensive zone. Again, they've won the offensive zone battle for the majority of the game. It's still 1-1 with 11:18 remaining in the second. McKinney in neutral ice. Tries to connect with Valentini. Goes far side, and Wisconsin picks it off. Now a shot. Score! Vasily Zelenov does it himself in transition. Goes high side on the blocker and beats Jack Ivankovic. And a 2-0 run by Wisconsin puts them back in front. Or in front for the first time tonight. Wisconsin finds a turnover in the neutral zone, and Zelenov, some nice deception on that shot there. Lifted his skate as if he was going far side. Instead went high side blocker, got by Ivankovic, and 2-1 Badgers.
Yeah, Wisconsin using that momentum from the first goal. They're keeping their foot on the gas here, applying pressure, and a great look and a great goal for the Badgers.
Badgers playing with their season on the line because it just well might be. There's icing here by Michigan. So Vasily Zelenov from Moscow, Russia, the Buffalo Sabres prospect, drafted in the 7th round, scores his 4th of the season. He's a freshman. He's played a big piece in this Badgers offense.
And if you're Michigan here, you got to be careful. You know, Wisconsin has the momentum right now. They have the crowd behind them. Obviously, the home ice. Michigan's got to make sure they're controlling the puck and limiting the shot attempts for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin back in their offensive zone. They've been there a lot of the night. They control. Osborne on the right side. Goes right circle. Sends a shot off the helmet of Ivankovic. A lot of open lanes to shoot for the Badgers. Michigan controls in their own zone. Trying to exit, and they do. Garrett Shifsky in neutral ice. Now here's Keenan Draper. Finally, they send one deep and change. Wisconsin keeps it moving. Into Michigan's defensive zone. Fantilli cuts off the puck, moves it to Duke. Finds Fitzgerald, drops it back to Phelan. Phelan sends it behind Michigan's net for the Badgers. And it's controlled now by Fantilli for Michigan, taking his time, exiting to the neutral zone. Here's Nick Moldenhauer. Goes behind Wisconsin's net, now in his offensive zone. To the right circle, drops it back to TJ Hughes. Hughes tries to curl, sends it through the crease. It pucks in the air, loose in the crease, and finally Wisconsin controls. Zelenov, the goal scorer, helps exit. Fitzgerald gains access to the red line, sends it hard off the backboards. Long rebound, exits back to the neutral zone. The Wisconsin picks it right back up. Blake Montgomery sends it through the crease far side. Jack Horbach couldn't punch it home. Wisconsin still controls. Long shift again. Shot saved by Ivankovic. And the puck hits the net in the back of the Michigan net. Finally, a break for Michigan. They seem to look just a little bit slower. 9:22 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Badgers.
Yeah, you said it, Theo. Michigan looking a little sluggish there. They did have some opportunities. I liked what I saw from them. to get the puck back on the other side of the ice, give their defense a break there. But again, Wisconsin continuing to control the pace and dominate time of possession.
2-1 Badgers, 9:19 remaining in the second. Wisconsin enters their offensive zone. Behind Michigan's net, the puck goes. Dakota Rayon Mullen tries to move to Horkoff. A little bit of a whiff on a rolling puck. Wisconsin controls with Ryan Botterill, but he loses it in neutral ice. Horkoff sends it behind the Badgers' net, and Palatichuk takes a hit from Hughes, but moves the puck along nicely. Intercepted now in the neutral zone. Michigan gets advantage of a poor pass. Malcolm Spence trying to catch up to the puck. Palatichuk, deja vu, picks it right back up behind his own net again. Here's Tolk. Sends it into Michigan's zone, cut off by the Wolverines. In neutral ice, trying to enter onsides, they do. Kitty quarter, the pass goes. Asher Barnett, the Oilers prospect, picks it up, trying to keep his skates pressured by Dexheimer. Valentini now, right circle. McKinney back to the point, sends it back for Robertson. Tries a shot. Barnett had a punching chance, and the stick of Eli Pulver keeps that one from going in the back of the net. Now Robertson sends one through the ice again, and Pulver makes another shoulder save. 2 straight saves by Eli Pulver, tested in the absence of Daniel Hauser, keeping the Badgers up. Michigan still controls. It's 5-on-5, but a long offensive zone opportunity here for Michigan. They pick it up near the crease. Aiden Park tries to drop it back. Wisconsin, Simon Tassi finally clears, sends it the length of the ice. That one should be icing, and it is. Wisconsin just had to ice to give themselves a couple free breaths to take with 7:51 left in the second period. And those same 5 will have to remain on the ice for the Badgers. 2-1 Wisconsin.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, you couldn't have asked for better looks there. They had the opportunities. They had a tired defense, but unable to convert and capitalize on those opportunities. Again, a few great saves from Pulver.
You mentioned Wisconsin, a very tired defense. With that icing, they're not allowed to change. So Wisconsin's Mike Hastings electing to use his timeout here, ensure his players get some rest, some water, and Michigan some time to think things over and draw something up. But Hastings sensed these really tired legs. This is a long shift for the Badgers. And up a goal. They do not want to concede here. Timeout by Hastings. Good call there. 23-12 is the shot disparity. Badgers have turned it on this period. They won the shot disparity in the first period. Michigan was up 1-0. The Badgers have scored 2 here to take the lead. And don't forget that play early on in the first period. DJ Hughes scored, but Nick Moldenhauer was just a little bit offsides on the power play. So they took a goal off the board after a challenge by Wisconsin, and that's why they're up a goal.
You know, I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Wisconsin here. Again, you mentioned it, ahead in terms of shots taken. And you know what they say in boxing, sometimes the best type of defense is offense. And Wisconsin's doing that tonight against the #1 ranked offense in the country in Michigan. And they're just not giving Michigan opportunities. They're applying pressure. They're making Michigan work hard on the back end of their ice and protecting their net. And I think we really have to give it up for Eli Pulver. Again, you mentioned a guy stepping up, filling in for the starting goalie, and he's made a few great saves down the stretch here and protecting that 2-1 lead for Wisconsin.
Michigan back on the offensive zone face-off right circle. This one's a big one. Michigan wants to retain possession. Wisconsin wins it, and they exit the zone with Adam Pietola. Goes behind Michigan's net. Pietola the first there. In front, the puck goes. A chance through the crease. Ivan Kovic got a stick on it, deflected it away. Through the neutral zone goes Garrett Shifsky for the Wolverines. Sends it to the far side boards, tries to chase after it, fighting through 3 or 4 Badgers to get there. And finally, Wisconsin cuts it off. Finn Brink there, sends it out to neutral ice. Fantilli sent one into Michigan's offensive zone. Draper touched it, obviously offsides. That one will come out for a face-off just outside of Michigan's offensive zone. 2-1 Badgers, 7:18 remaining in the second period.
As we take a look at the first period, the first half of the first period was pretty much dominated by Wisconsin, and then it was until after that Michigan started to gain momentum, but it'll be interesting to see if that same pattern continues here as we enter the later stages of the second period.
Wisconsin wins the faceoff in the neutral zone, goes into Michigan's zone, but Michigan controls. Tyler Duke on the left side, gains access to the red line. No, he doesn't, just beyond it. And the puck goes all the way around the board, so no icing. Fantilli controls, sends it into Michigan's zone, but Fitzgerald cuts it off for the Badgers. Now TJ Hughes in the neutral zone. Enters beyond the blue line, sends a shot, blocker saved by Pulver. Hughes catches up to it, tries to drop it back to the point. Instead, Badgers cut it off. Quinn Finley in his own territory uses the boards to send it up high into neutral ice. In Michigan's zone now as Morrissey pushes Michigan back and then forces a turnover on Tyler Duke. Controls and now exits with Cole McKinney. Here's Nick Moldenhauer for Michigan. Throws on the brakes, sends one behind Wisconsin's net to Luca Fantilli. Fantilli tries to connect with Hughes behind the net. Instead, it's Perron for the Wolverines. Now here's Hughes through the slot. Fantilli's shot just misses wide on the right side. Malcolm Spence now on the right side, blue line. Wisconsin forces a turnover, and they exit. TJ Hughes pressuring, dangerous opportunity. Palatichuk loses the puck. Dakota Rayo Mullen picks it up for the Wolverines in the neutral zone. 5:53 remaining in the second period. Badgers up 2-1. Malcolm Spence behind Wisconsin's net, moves the puck along. Aiden Park cuts it off. Park goes back behind Wisconsin's net. Will Horkoff moves it left circle, trying to control the puck. He had Michigan's goal tonight, a high side snipe that put the Wolverines up 1-0. Wisconsin controls, looking to exit. Malcolm Spence tries to cut off Grady Deering. Deering through the neutral zone. In front, and they lose the puck. It's Blake Montgomery now behind Wisconsin's net. Who's Osborne? Skating the blue line, sends one to the left side, misses wide. Gathered by Aiden Dubinsky. In front, in the slot. A shot now by Vasily Zilanov, caught by Ivan Kovic. He catches it, and Michigan's defenseman not happy with Blake Montgomery going after Ivan Kovic, standing up for their netminder. 5:10 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Badgers.
Yeah, great look for Wisconsin there, and an even better save from Ivan Kovic as the Wolverines swoop in to protect their goalie. Again, Wisconsin getting good looks. Michigan controlling the puck, though, as they had their fair share of opportunities in that last possession.
Live from the Kohl Center, Emilio Enriquez, Theo Shernoff here at WCBN Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Big basketball stadium filled by Badger fans here. 5:10 remaining in the second period. They got excited this period. They came into the period down 1-0, now up 2-1. And definitely controlling the game so far. Shots are 24-14. Badgers.
Yeah, and if you're the Wolverines, you want to turn that around, right? You want to have opportunities to score, and that starts with putting the foot on the gas here. And I think Michigan, as you mentioned, it seems like they're a little sluggish here in the second period. Again, they came into this period with the momentum, but Wisconsin with that goal early on, followed by their second, has completely flipped the script here.
Teams returning to the ice. It'll be a face-off in Michigan's defensive zone. If I'm Naranjo, I'm just trying to get back on the power play. You understand they have to get possession of the puck in the offensive zone first for that to happen, but Michigan's power play has resulted in one goal and then another goal that's wiped off the board. The majority of Michigan's offense so far. And Michigan wins their defensive zone face-off. And they send it out to neutral ice, caught down by Osborne. And now Drew Schott controls, moving it to Robertson in Michigan's zone. Neutral ice, it's cut off by Botterill for the Badgers into his offensive zone. Tassi in there for Wisconsin. It finally comes out to the point, Aiden Dubinsky. Now right circle Botterill, behind the net to Oliver Tulk. Tulk back to the blue line, and Dexheimer elects to just bring the puck out to neutral ice. Tassi backhands it in for Wisconsin. Ivan Kovic behind his own posts. Moves it to Ben Robertson on the right side. Goes off the boards to Aiden Park. Michigan enters the zone. They dump and they change. Wisconsin, though, controls in their own zone. Horbach connects with Zilanov to enter their offensive zone. Zilanov, a miscommunication on a pass, and now Keenan Draper has a chance on the right circle for Michigan. Tries a shot, saved by the pad of Pulver, and Wisconsin's out now on a fast break opportunity. Here's Blake Montgomery, cuts in front of the net, tries to go far post, misses wide on the right side. Ivan Kovic was moved out of the way by Montgomery. He had open net and missed. Now Michigan a chance, one-on-one. TJ Hughes scoops in front, saved by Pulver. That was Garrett Shifsky who had an opportunity. He's great on those one-on-ones. Deked the forehand, tried to lift a backhand over the blocker of Pulver, and Pulver was there. 2 great saves in the span of 30 seconds, and Wisconsin still holds a 1-goal lead with 3:46 remaining in the second.
Yeah, if you're Shifsky, you're going to want that one back. He had a great look. Just him and the goalkeeper unable to convert, and another great save from Pulver.
Wisconsin wins their defensive zone faceoff. They lost those 4-0 in the first period. Definitely a better result this period. Barnett tries a shot, saved by the pad of Pulver. Another great save by the goalie. In front now again, the puck goes just wide. It's blocked in front. Wisconsin finally controls. Pietola exits the zone. Sends it kitty corner. Far side, losing his skates is Brink. He took a fall. Moldenhauer trying to move it out of danger. Duke gets it in front. There is danger in front. Wisconsin scores. Pietola from Grady Deering. They picked it up. Michigan moved the puck in front of their own zone right into their crease. And Pietola, the Michigan native, extends the Badger lead to 2. And this is as much danger as Michigan's faced in game 1 of a series all year long. 3-1 Wisconsin, approaching 3 to play in the second.
Yeah, Michigan just giving Wisconsin an opportunity right in front of their goal as they left their goalie extremely vulnerable there. As 3-1 Wisconsin, we can't help but think to that last game these two teams played where Wisconsin won 6-1 in Michigan's worst loss of the season.
You're right, Emilio, but the game before that, the Friday game of that series, Wisconsin was up 4-2 in the third period. Michigan won 7-4.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, and that speaks to Michigan's explosive offense, and it really can spark at any moment.
So they have the ability. Michigan has been down late multiple times recently. They were down against Penn State. They went to overtime, won in a shootout. We're down 3-1 to Michigan State on their home ice a couple weeks ago. Tied it up, went to overtime, won it from Jaden Perron. Now again, they're down 3-1 with 3:07 remaining in the second period and looking for a comeback to keep their undefeated streak in game 1s alive. Face-off just outside of Wisconsin's defensive zone. Michigan cannot control it. Wisconsin controls in their own territory. Badgers just moving a little quicker than the Wolverines tonight. Dubinsky enters the zone for the Badgers. Now to Christian Fitzgerald, but Malcolm Spence cuts it off for Michigan. Another turnover in their defensive zone. Quinn Finley tries to send it in. It goes up the skate of Ben Robertson. Moves it deep for Drew Schock, but deep in his own zone. Now Horkoff trying to find some space. Eventually goes to Drew Schock, and now Robertson. Michigan looking to tic-tac-toe their way out of their own zone. 2.5 minutes remaining, and they still can't exit their zone. Finally, it exits just a little bit before re-entering offsides. So it'll be a face-off. 3-1 Badgers.
Yeah, Michigan really looking for that spark right now. As offensively, they haven't been able to produce anything. And Wisconsin has just been on the attack the entire period. If you're Michigan, you really want to start to turn that around and start to capitalize offensively, and that starts with making sure to establish a strong defensive presence.
Wisconsin wins the faceoff, now up 22-14 in that category. They control in their offensive zone. Michigan trying to exit. Finally, Adam Valentini gets his hands on the puck, and it goes out of play into the Badger bench. So it'll reset with another faceoff in Michigan's defensive zone. 2:10 remaining in the second period. Badgers up 2. Michigan needs a comeback They got 130 seconds remaining in this period, then 20 minutes in the third, and I think they need another power play. Wisconsin looking to stay on 5-on-5 ice, if not better. Wins the faceoff, moves it behind Michigan's net. Dexheimer cuts it off, moves it to Tolk. Now back to Dexheimer at the point. Michigan now cuts it off, and into neutral ice it goes. Valentini has it. Barnett's going far post. Valentini sends it far post. Dexheimer got his stick in the way. Barnett couldn't get there. Now Valentini, right circle for Michigan. Barnett at the point. Sends a shot. Pad saved by Pulver. Saw it the whole way. Wisconsin trying to control, and they do. Joe Palatichuk in his own zone behind his own net with 1:30 remaining in the second period. Sends it up the length of the ice. Oliver Tolk gets it just over the red line. And a collision behind Michigan's net means no one gets the puck. Michigan exits. Garrett Shifsky now moves it up to Tyler Duke. Duke trying to cut in front. It's cut off by Horback for Wisconsin. Michigan trying to keep the offensive zone, can't do so. They have to re-enter. Duke sends it all the way around the yellow, and it's cut off far side by Ernest. Back to Duke at the point. Goes D-to-D pass for Fantilli. Sends it deep for Draper. Draper can't quite catch up to the puck. Horbox there along with Duke. 53 seconds remaining in the period, and Michigan still in their offensive zone. Jaden Perron, right circle, drag, shoots. It's blocked by Zilanov, and Wisconsin controls through neutral ice. Blake Montgomery leaves it in Michigan's zone with 37 seconds remaining in the period. Badgers still up 3-1. Michigan looking for a last-second goal in this period to go into the third, only down one. TJ Hughes in his offensive zone, trying to connect with Nick Moldenhauer. Passes cut off at the point of attack. Here's Adam Pietola. Just scored the third goal for the Badgers. 20 seconds on the clock in the second period. Shot on net, saved by Ivan Kovic. Robertson moves the rebound aside. Moldenhauer now gets it up to TJ Hughes in neutral ice. Puts on the brakes, backhands it towards the W. 10 seconds left in the period. Perron controls deep. Sends one in front through the crease. Hughes got a stick on it. Takes a fall, no call. Perron presses up against the boards on Jack Horbach, and that will do it for the second period. After 40 minutes of action, Wisconsin up 3-1 after Michigan had a one-goal lead coming into the period. Wisconsin scores 3 unanswered, and the Badgers have responded.
Yeah, Wisconsin's been relentless both offensively and defensively in this game. But, like we've said, Michigan has the tendency to score in bunches. So while they are down 3-1, this offense can really spark at any moment. This third period will be huge, and how they come out in that third period will be huge. I think the general consensus was that during that second period, there was not a sense of urgency from the Wolverines, and they really need to turn that around here. They want to come back against the Wisconsin Badgers.
2 periods down, 20 minutes remaining. It's 3-1 Wisconsin here from the Kohl Center. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the quick intermission.
Tonight's second intermission Cutler Zamboni Kid is Camden from Elkhorn.
All right, games. Let's play the Firecracker Shrimp Ring Race presented by Bucket Honeys. In just a second, you're going to see some shrimp, each representing a Bucket Honeys location. Race up on the video board. We have 4 contestants who need to be first.
celebrate the 50th Varsity Band Spring Concert Friday, April 17th at 7:30 p.m. and Saturday, April 18th at 3 p.m. here at the Colt Center. Tickets are on sale now. Visit uwbadgers.com today to secure your $30 ticket. Hey man, what can the Badger fans expect to hear at the concert?
Badger fans, thanks to the Badgers scoring not one, not two, but 3 goals in the second period. You guys are winners. Take a look up to the Raptors for tonight's parachute prizes presented by Culver's. Heads up.
Hello and welcome back to the Kohl Center here in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Theo Shernoff along with Emilio Enriquez. And Emilio, that was a beatdown in the second period, huh? Wisconsin leads 3-1. They led that second period 3-0.
That's exactly right, Theo. This is it. Third period of hockey here tonight. We mentioned it before. Michigan has been undefeated in series openers. That is at risk right now as Wisconsin has a 3-1 lead here at the Kohl Center. Wisconsin has done everything that they needed to do to win this game so far. Offensively, they've been great. Their goalie, who stepped up, has been excellent. They haven't given Michigan a lot of offensive opportunities, and that's Michigan's strong suit. They're an offensive powerhouse. But tonight, they have been quite the opposite. But like we've mentioned, things change fast in hockey, especially with the Wolverines offense. Theo, could we see a shift pretty early on in this period? And if so, what does Michigan need to do?
I think this is definitely possible. We've seen Michigan come back from 2-goal deficits in the past. They need a power play, or they need some momentum, some jolt of hope. 3-1 Badgers, the beginning of the third period here in Madison. Set to be underway. Puck drop at center ice. Keenan Draper there with Vasily Zilanov, and the puck is won by the Wolverines. Josh Ernest dumps the puck in to Wisconsin's defensive zone, gathered by Ben Dexheimer behind his own net. Michigan in pursuit of the puck. Wisconsin exits with Blake Montgomery. Through neutral ice goes Montgomery, the Senators prospect. Far side, Horbach lets one rip just wide. Rebound goes all the way back off the boards, back to neutral ice and into Wisconsin's defensive zone. Wisconsin leads the shots category 27-18. They enter the offensive zone. Luke Osborne goes beyond the Michigan net behind the boards. Michigan finally controls. Jaden Perron now in neutral ice. Sends it in behind Wisconsin's net. And in pursuit is Perron. Instead, Christian Fitzgerald cuts it off for the Badgers. Puck goes all the way back behind Michigan's net. Ben Robertson gets there for Michigan. 1 minute into the third period, 3-1 Wisconsin. Wisconsin controls in neutral ice. They would have been offsides if they had touched it there. Quinn Finley lets it go. Michigan controls. They get advantage of the red line, send it all the way around the boards. Nick Moldenhauer, the Maple Leafs prospect, cuts off the puck behind the Badger net. Goes out to Perron in front. Perron sends a shot in the direction of the net, blocked in front. Valentini keeps it moving to Asher Barnett. Asher Barnett on the right side, pressed up against the boards. Shielding off Badgers. Quinn Finley pushing him up against the boards. Finally, the puck finds Jack Phelan, the Red Wings prospect, might play in Michigan in his future days. Moves it along, but it's cut off by Malcolm Spence. Spence drops it back, and the puck goes all the way behind Michigan's net. Miscommunication there for the Wolverines. Looks like a Wisconsin Badger might have gotten the puck in their defensive zone, so we'll be icing. Go back towards Michigan's offensive zone.
Yeah, as we look at the first 2 minutes of that third period, I like what I'm seeing from Michigan. I feel like they're playing with more of a sense of urgency here. A lot more offensive pressure than we've seen in this game so far as we look at a center face-off here.
Center face-off. Wisconsin wins, controlling in their own zone. 18:08 remaining in the third period. Badgers up 2. Wisconsin enters Michigan's defensive zone. Fantilli moves it along for the Wolverines, trying to connect with Tyler Duke. He gets his stick cut up with Jack Horbach, eventually gets control of the puck. Emerges to neutral ice. Adam Valentini tries to send the puck out in front of him and retrieve it. Instead, it's cut off by the Badgers and Joe Palatichuk. Palatichuk sends it up the ice. Direction of Blake Montgomery, who taps the puck into the zone. Zilanov tries to get control, sweeps through Aiden Park. Park got his stick in the way. Zilanov fell. That's an easy call for the official. Aiden Park will go sit his butt down in jail. Wisconsin will have 2 minutes on the power play, already up 2 goals. 17:37 remaining in the third.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, that's the last thing you wanted to see there. Already down 2, trying to swing the momentum here. But now they're going to have to fight an uphill battle as Wisconsin will have the advantage and try and capitalize on this power play.
Left circle face-off in the Badgers' offensive zone. Morrissey, Fitzgerald, Dexheimer, Finley, and Tassi, the unit on the man advantage for the Badgers. Morrissey moves it to Dexheimer. One-timer Finley on the right circle. Goes wide. Ivan Kovic a save on a rebound attempt. Draper steers the puck out of the defensive zone. Wisconsin still controls. Dexheimer skating backwards in his own territory. 17-16 remaining in the third period. 1:36 remaining on the power play for Wisconsin. Aiden Park, the man guilty. Morrissey sends a puck along the ice, along the blue line, and it finds Dexheimer at the point. Back to Morrissey. Left circle shot. Blocker save, Ivan Kovic. Quinn Finley controls the rebound. Michigan, nice stick work by Robertson to control the puck, but Wisconsin takes it right back. Morrissey almost loses an edge on the left circle. Controls, resets Finley. Finley tries to cross it to Fitzgerald. It's cut off by the skate of Ben Robertson. Michigan still controls in their own territory. Wisconsin keeps the blue line, though. Puck is sent by Fitzgerald high into the stands. Looks like he got a little under that one. And with 16:39 remaining in the third period and 1:03 left on the power play, it'll be a face-off on the right circle. Wisconsin up 3-1.
Yeah, that was a gritty possession from Michigan, doing whatever they can to keep the puck out of the net here. They've almost survived the power play. See if they can hold strong here in the later half.
Michigan would not mind a shorthanded goal right now. The first priority is clearing, and they did just that. Garrett Shifsky got enough of the puck to clear it. Wisconsin elect to take it all the way back behind their own net. 45 seconds remaining on the power play. Puck gets deflected off the boards and goes right to Jack Ivan Kovic. He sets his pad in the way and covers it up. That'll be another face-off. 16:21 remaining in the third period. 3-1 Wisconsin, still on the power play.
Yeah, Michigan really looking to get a spark here. Obviously, being at the disadvantage, that hurts their momentum, but they can come out of this. Maybe that'll be a turning point for the Wolverines.
Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone, won by Tyler Duke. Sends it along the boards to Garrett Shifsky. Has a little bit of a shorthanded chance. Cut off by Osborne. He'll elect to chew clock instead. Cuts back in the direction of the Wisconsin net. Kicks the puck behind the boards. And Wisconsin finally controls. 16 minutes left in the third period. 24 seconds left on the power play. Blake Montgomery for the Badgers. Left circle enters. Cuts through the crease in front. Tries to send one on net. Ivan Kovic's stick broke it up. Here's Osborne left circle. Back to the point. He drops it. Tolk skates the blue line. Now left circle. Puts on the brakes. Looking for a man in the bumper. It's Zilanoff. Montgomery down low. Tries to cross it far side to Tyson Dick. And a stick of the Wolverines sends it the length of the ice. Michigan's back to full strength. A successful penalty killed. And the Badgers still control. 15:26 remaining in the third period. Michigan needs 2 to tie. Puck in the neutral zone. Wisconsin sends it deep. Ivan Kovic controls. Sends it to Drew Schock, the Anaheim Ducks prospect. Moves it up to Nick Moldenhauer in neutral ice. Moldenhauer loses it, and it's gathered by the Badgers. They send it back deep behind Michigan's net. Ivan Kovic controls one more time. This time he goes to his right side. Ben Robertson emerges. Robertson across the red line and Lau across the blue line. Sends one in front into the crease, and it's covered up by Eli Pulver. Pulver slows things down. 14:51 remaining in the third period. Still 3-1 Badgers.
Yeah, Michigan successful against the power play there. And they're really looking, again, to get a spark. Wisconsin not letting up here as they control this 3-1 lead. And Michigan needs to play with some urgency here.
They do. Over a quarter into this final period, Michigan has an offensive zone faceoff. Horkoff to take it. He scored Michigan's lone goal of the night, a short side snipe in the first period. Michigan had another goal taken off the board because they were offsides. Wisconsin wins the faceoff. Christian Fitzgerald now into Michigan's zone. Fitzgerald goes down to his knees trying to chase after the puck. He's pressured up against the boards by Horkoff and Robertson and Hage. Puck still pressed up on the near side boards behind Michigan's net. Wisconsin students banging on the boards on the other side. Barnett's in there now for the Wolverines. Finally, the puck gets loose. Rayo Mullen pushes Finley. Finley finally gets control of the puck, sends it towards the crease. Ivan Kovic covers it up. And another 30 seconds wasted by the Badgers. Nothing really happened. Ivan Kovic will cover it up.
Yeah, we got some pushing and shoving at the end of that play. Some good physical hockey here. Two physical teams, and again, a lot on the line for the Badgers. As we mentioned, looking further down the stretch, they can't really afford to lose many more series, even games in that matter. So again, this, if they can hang on here, would be huge as they look down the stretch.
They win the faceoff. A one-timer by Ryan Botterill gets deflected, goes out of play. We'll do it again. Yeah, you mentioned it. Wisconsin on the bubble right now, ranked number 13. 16 teams make the tournament, but there are auto bids from lesser conferences than the Big Ten that will take up those spots. So Wisconsin needs to at least split here at home against the number 2 team in the country. In good shape to do that early on. Michigan now wins their defensive zone faceoff. They seem to have not won enough of those tonight. Duke goes off the boards into the neutral zone. Wisconsin's Simon Tassi controls, sends it deep. In pursuit is Botterill. Botterill takes a hit from Duke. Now Musket moves it along to McKinney. McKinney in neutral ice. His back to the offensive zone. Tries to connect with Musket. Can't do so. Wisconsin controls. Tolk. A lot more hits now on the ice. Valentini and Tolk mixing it up just at the blue line of Michigan's defensive zone. Botterill finally emerges for the Badgers. Osborne, a one-timer in the slot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. Big-time save from the freshman. Botterill, a one-timer. Another save. Draper, a block. Ivan Kovic, another save. 3 straight saves for Ivan Kovic. Keeps Michigan in this game. 13:24 left in the third. Wisconsin had 3 straight one-timers. Ivan Kovic got a piece of all of them. Wisconsin faithful not happy as Keenan Draper's pressing a Badger into the ice. No penalty. Michigan trying to exit their own defensive zone. Polotachuk moves it for Horbach. Horbach back to Polotachuk, deflected by Valentini. Shifsky now sends one the length of the ice as Barnett and Tolk are getting mixed up in the own defensive zone of Michigan. Finally a whistle blows. They're both going to be sent off. And if you're Michigan, I think you're okay with a little bit of 4-on-4 action here. You could use some open ice. 12:54 remaining in the third period. It's 3-1 Badgers. It'll be 4-on-4 hockey.
Yeah, Theo, you're exactly right. That could have ended a lot worse for the Wolverines. Wisconsin, a number of attempts there, and Ivan Kovic staying strong in the net. That's no easy task there. It looked like there was 3 consecutive shots that the Badgers took, all saved by Ivan Kovic, as a player from each team will head to the penalty box. And again, Michigan trying to do whatever they can to really get their offense going here.
Timeout on the ice. There'll be some 4-on-4 action. Open ice for both the Wolverines and the Badgers, but the Wolverines in need of goals. I think they'll take it. Again, it was Oliver Tolk and Asher Barnett got mixed up. Barnett from Wilmette, Illinois. Tolk from Gibsons, British Columbia. Both freshmen. At first I thought their sticks just got caught, but no, they were actually going after each other.
It'll be interesting to see as this game enters the later stages. Again, a lot of physicality from both teams, and if you're Michigan, they're going to do whatever it takes to try and come back, because just like Wisconsin, a lot is on the line for the Wolverines as well, as these later games in the season are crucial for seeding.
Michigan loses the ensuing faceoff. 12:50 remaining in the third period. 3-1 Wisconsin, 4-on-4 action. Morrissey for the Badgers exits his own zone to Quinn Finley. Finley, the Islanders prospect, tries to drop it back to Morrissey. Instead, Ernest picks it off, finds Michael Hage. Hage has space, tries to lift it in, and it's covered up by Pulver.
Yeah, what a save from Pulver there. Again, we've said his name all night long. He's really stepped up for Wisconsin, and reflecting on the game so far, it could be a completely different game given the opportunities Michigan's had, but Pulver stayed strong there in the net.
20 shots for the Wolverines, 32 for the Badgers. Wisconsin leads 3-1. Offensive zone faceoff for Michigan, but it's won by Wisconsin. They've dominated the faceoff battle all night long, now leading 30-17. Wisconsin into their offensive zone. Finn Brink drops it back. Wisconsin's Osborne elects to now re-enter the zone. Fitzgerald and Osborne play a little no, you take it, no, you take it. 1:15 remaining in the third period. Osborne enters Michigan's zone. Skates all the way around Michigan's net. Does a complete 360 back to right where he started. In the slot, sends a shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic, left pad. Pressured behind Michigan's net now. Christian Fitzgerald trying to control. Drew Schocks there, along with Michael Hage trying to leave. Finally, Jaden Perron gets control of it, moves it to Luca Fantilli. Fantilli to TJ Hughes, Michigan into neutral ice, and Jack Phelan cuts it off for Wisconsin. 11:30 remaining in the third period, 36 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4 play. Dexheimer now for the Badgers. Redirects to Joe Polotachuk. Now Quinn Finley. Finley to Morrissey. Morrissey tries to rip one. It's blocked at the point of attack. Michael Hage controls for Michigan. Moves it to Luca Fantilli. Fantilli connects back with Hage, but Morrissey's in there mixing it up, and he earns the puck back for the Badgers, even though he has to go backwards to do it. Wisconsin controls right at the red line in the center. 3 seconds left on 4-on-4 action. Dubinsky for the Badgers. Sends it across the ice to Grady Deering. Deering moves it far side behind Michigan's net. Michael Hage cuts it off for the Wolverines. 3-1 Wisconsin, 10:40 remaining in the third period. Wisconsin controls in their own territory. Michigan needs an extended offensive zone time to try to cut into this lead. Puck goes all the way back behind Michigan's net. Jack Ivan Kovic controls, moves it along for Michigan. Now out to neutral ice. Dakota Rayon Mullen skates through the big red W and moves it to left circle of Michigan's offensive zone. Drops it back, Cole McKinney. McKinney back to Shifsky at the point. Sends a shot in. Save, and there was an open rebound. Michigan couldn't catch up to it. Spence cuts it off in neutral ice, and Wisconsin controls now. Dubinsky enters, skates around the Michigan net. Knox tries to get with Botterill. It's cut off by Rayon Mullen, but Zilanov cuts it off again for Wisconsin. Zilanov takes a fall after a hit by Cole McKinney, and it's gathered by Osborne for the Badgers in their offensive zone. Osborne out the blue line, sends the shot in. Late save by Ivan Kovic, got his pad down just in time, directed it wide to the right. Zilanov controls the rebound, pressure by Horkov, drops to the slot. Botterill has a shot, saved off the chest of Ivan Kovic. Rebound still alive, Badgers still control. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Michigan finally controls, Badgers up 2. Dakota Rayon Mullen retreats in his own zone, lifts it up into neutral ice, and it's caught by Dexheimer, and Hill hit it off the boards, but Garrett Shifsky cuts it off for the Wolverines. Michigan needs the puck in the offensive zone to score. That's simple logic. They haven't been able to do that recently. Garrett Shifsky controls across the red line, sends a shot in from about mid-ice. It's saved by Pulver. Badgers control on their own right circle. Blake Montgomery now right at the blue line, sends one kitty corner. Chased after by Asher Barnett and Simon Tassi. Long period of play here, 8:51 remaining in the third period. Badgers still up 2. Garrett Shifsky in neutral ice. Gains advantage of the blue line and now loses the puck beyond the blue line. Shifsky now controls, drops it back, Tyler Duke. Duke sends it to the left side, TJ Hughes. Tries to enter, Simon Tassi prevents him from doing so. Osborne cuts it off. Emilio, this is back and forth. Michigan now controls in their own territory, but cannot get the puck in the offensive zone.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, you really want to do your best to control the puck offensively. They've struggled with that recently, and Wisconsin is continuing to dominate the pace of the game. If you're Michigan, almost 8 minutes left in the game, you have to amp up the urgency here and do whatever you can to continue to get shot attempts.
Wisconsin, from behind their own net, sends it the length of the ice, and it will be icing. Finally, a whistle blown after what felt like an hour of action. 8:01 remaining in the third. Wisconsin up 3 Michigan will have an offensive zone faceoff incoming. And there has not been a power play for Michigan in the second period and the first 12 minutes of the third period.
Yeah, you referenced the power play. Again, their one goal of the night came off of a power play. Other than that, they've really struggled offensively. They've gotten decent looks, but unable to capitalize on any of them. And I think they really need to regroup here and establish the offense here in the third period.
Michigan trying to compete for that #1 spot in the country and in the Big Ten. They need Michigan State to lose and themselves to win in order to do that. But Wisconsin, same story, wins another defensive zone faceoff and able to clear out to neutral ice. Aiden Park tries to send one in. It's blocked, and Wisconsin controls in their own territory. They emerge to neutral ice. Christian Fitzgerald goes diagonal. Ivan Kovic whiffs on a clearance attempt, and it got lucky that only Wolverines were there. Park now across the midline. Sends one deep. Goes and retrieves it. Wisconsin there first, though. Dexheimer pressed up against the boards. Michigan finally controls, and now they lose control. Page, a little fancy of a pass, trying to connect with Spence. Got intercepted. Aiden Park loses an edge, runs into the boards. 7:17 remaining in the third. Wisconsin perfectly happy to go back and forth, not allow any shots on net for Michigan. 22-35, Wisconsin leads the shots category. 7:05 remaining in the third period. Asher Barnett controls for Michigan in his own zone. Connects with Malcolm Spence and Jaden Perron on offense. Perron throws on the brakes, backhands one towards the center, and now goes and gets his own pass. Perron sends one through the crease. No one home on the far side for Michigan. Simon Tassi cuts it off, moves it to neutral ice. Botterill now for Wisconsin loses it, and it's sent the length of the ice by Asher Barnett. Will be icing. 6:39 remaining in the third period. Defensive zone faceoff for the Wolverines incoming, and they need this one and then to get back on offense. Wisconsin leads the faceoff battle 31-17. That's just the beginning of the problems for the Wolverines.
Yeah, you look at the Wolverines offensively, it feels like some of their passes are careless. They have open looks in the middle of the ice, but unable to connect on anything as, again, Wisconsin continuing to control the pace.
Wisconsin wins the faceoff into their own zone, trying to connect through the neutral zone. Emerges through Asher Barnett for Michigan. Finally, Wisconsin's Blake Montgomery picks it up, takes a hit at the left circle by Luca Fantilli. Fantilli read him like a book. Borkoff now in neutral ice. Cole McKinney takes a hit on his backside, takes a fall, and Wisconsin controls again. They send it the length of the ice. Montgomery there with Drew Schock. Schock connects with Keenan Draper, and Draper skating horizontally through the neutral zone, kicks the puck to himself and loses it. Wisconsin controls again. 6 minutes left in the third period. Wisconsin sends it diagonal into their offensive zone. Keenan Draper now controls for Michigan. Goes high off the boards, trying to connect with Josh Earnesty. A misplaced pass leads to Wisconsin connecting with it.
And that's been a theme here for Michigan. Misplaced passes, is they're not applying any pressure to Wisconsin's defense.
Wisconsin has a lot of the control of the puck. They send it in deep behind Michigan's net again, and Michigan has to play from the back. Here's Horkoff. Sends it far side, TJ Hughes. Hughes connects out in front, Garrett Shifsky. Shifsky now loses the puck, and Osborne controls behind his own net for the Badgers. A turnover now. Hughes, a drag shot, gets blocked by Dubinsky. A turnover is the only chance Michigan's got in the last 5 minutes. Dubinsky made quick work of the opportunity, shut it down. 5:04 remaining in the third period. Wisconsin still up 3-1, and a whistle is blown. We'll see what the impending call is.
Yeah, Hughes with a great look there. It almost looked like he was surprised it was that wide open as he completely whiffed on the shot. But again, those are the types of looks that Michigan hasn't been able to find and unable to capitalize right there as they're still sitting at a 3-1 deficit.
Looks like the puck went out of play, so there should be a reset on the right circle with 5:02 remaining in the third period. Michigan needs 2 on the road in Madison. Wisconsin, the quicker team tonight. As Gavin Morrissey wins the draw, and that's been a theme. Sends a shot in from the point. Goes off the backboard. Dakota Rayo Mullen hustling after it. Christian Fitzgerald comes out with a 50-50 puck. Finally, TJ Hughes takes over. In neutral ice, Nick Moldenhauer. Michigan has been unable to have clean entries into the offensive zone. Dexheimer controls for Wisconsin. Out to neutral ice. Wisconsin controls. Quinn Finley, quick stick, fakes a shot, lets the shot rip, goes high off the backboards, out in front. Ivan Kovic halfway into his own net, lost his stick, just tries to steer it away. Chance now for Wisconsin. Ivan Kovic is stickless. Tyler Duke in his left circle trying to exit, finally does. Dubinsky has to chase after. Ivan Kovic able to regather his stick. 4:14 remaining in the third period. Wisconsin sends one high diagonally across their own offensive zone. Tyler Duke and Ryan Botterill battling after it. Asher Barnett controls for Michigan. Moves it out to neutral ice. Will Horkoff there, along with Osborne. And with under 4 to play, Michigan needs 2 goals. Botterill lets one rip down low. Right pad save, Ivan Kovic. On the near side boards in Wisconsin's zone, the puck stays. Dexheimer keeps it in along the blue line. Botterill can't control it. It's Tyler Duke now in his own zone. Duke drops it back. Asher Barnett's waiting for it. 3:37 to go in the third period. Keeping an eye on Ivan Kovic to see if he exits his posts anytime soon. Hage will send one in. Dump and change. Wisconsin still controls. Jack Phelan with 3:23 remaining in the third. Wisconsin up 3-1. Wisconsin sets one in, and it will be not icing. It was not called. Luca Fantilli emerges with the puck for Michigan. Josh Ernest enters the blue line for the Wolverines. Cole McKinney trying to cut it off. Eventually, it's Drew Schock at the point. Sends one towards the net. It's blocked. Fantilli, a redirection pass. Draper, a shot. Whiffed on everything. Missed on the left side. Wisconsin emerges into neutral ice. Michigan will have to go chase after the puck in their own zone. It's Drew Schock. He does a loop. Connects with Josh Ernest. 2:45 remaining in the third. Michigan down 2. Michigan sends a puck in deep. And Ivan Kovic is heading for the bench. And now he turns around, thinks better of it, because Wisconsin had control of the puck. They send it the length of the ice. That'll be icing. And Ivan Kovic heading towards the bench. Michigan's going to get a time to set up and bring their 6th attacker on with 2:33 remaining in the third period. And the Badgers up 3-1. It's prayer time for Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan really unable to control the offensive possessions. They had another great opportunity, a pass right in front of the goal in the middle. Unable to capitalize there. They're going to try and spark something here with 6 attackers. Again, no one in the goal for Michigan.
Wisconsin wins the draw. Quinn Finley tries to chip it out to neutral ice. Instead, it's blocked on the boards by Will Horkoff. Michigan controls. Shot in front. Saved by Pulver. A redirect. Rebound. No. Goes back out to the point for Michigan. Robertson at the blue line. Along the blue line it goes. One-timer in front. Moldenhauer tries for a rebound. And it looks like it's covered up by Pulver. 2:14 remaining in the third period. Michigan, 6 attackers on. Looking for everything they can.
Yeah, and if you're Michigan, that's all you can ask for, right? Shots on goal. That's something they haven't had all night. Finally, some shots here with 6 attackers. But that's really been the name of the game, right? Wisconsin dominating Michigan in terms of shots on goal. And that's where they've had success. Michigan's offense really just never came alive. Again, their one goal on the night came off of a power play where they've had a lot of success all season long. But other than that, they haven't done much. Again, still time here, a little more than 2 minutes as they try and get something going late. Certainly enough time.
They need a miracle. 2:14 remaining in the third period. 3-1 Badgers, and a timeout now called by Michigan, because why not use it? Michigan has 6 attackers on the ice. It's Hage, Perron, Moldenhauer, Robertson, Horkoff, and Hughes. And now here comes in McKinney in favor of Moldenhauer. Wisconsin fans on their feet can sense this win over the number 2 team in the country. Face off, left circle. Michigan wins, controls at the point. Ben Robertson moves it to Michael Hage. Back to Perron. Now Hage, right circle. Tries to center it. Hughes, a shot from the bumper. It's blocked before it got to Pulver. Just wide. Michigan controls the rebound. Robertson at the point. Along the blue line, Perron. Drag, shoots. Blocked again by Fitzgerald. 1:51 remaining in the third. Perron. Robertson controls. Back to Perron. Badgers up 3-1. Perron goes to Hughes on the right side. His pass is blocked by Fitzgerald. Now back to Hage, left side. Robertson at the blue line. And a misdirection. Open net. Wisconsin finishes it. Empty net dagger. Jack Horbach. And that will do it, folks. 4-1 Wisconsin. The empty net results in a Wisconsin goal. Horbach, a misdirection or a redirection at the blue line. Won the race to the puck and punched it home.
Yeah, great composure from Wisconsin's defense there. Michigan trying to get tricky. But again, this has been the name of the game this entire night. Wisconsin just being able to dominate on the offensive and defensive side.
Michigan will have another game tomorrow. Not over just yet. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. They need a miracle, but again, the Wolverines will have a Saturday match here at the Kohl Center. And this is the first game one they've dropped this season, so they'll look to bounce back. We don't know how Michigan responds in a game two after losing game one. We'll have to see. We'll be on the call again tomorrow night. 60 seconds remaining here. Adam Valentini goes through the crease, misses on a shot. Deep in the Wisconsin zone. The puck goes, but the Badgers control. Out to neutral ice comes Horbach, just scored the game winner. A shot steered away by the stick of Ivan Kovic. Shifsky goes through neutral ice to Valentini. Sends one deep for Michigan. They'll change. And white flag might be waved anytime now for the Wolverines. 4-1 Badgers the score. Wisconsin controls on their own right circle. Musket loses his stick, and the puck gets sent all the way around the boards. 20 seconds left here for the Wolverines to get out of their misery. The number 2 team in the country will fall on the road. Here's Shifsky in neutral ice. The crowd rises and starts applauding. Pulver behind his own net. He's pitched a wonderful game today. Botterill now for the Badgers. Presses the puck up against the boards. 2-1-0. Wisconsin at home picks up a huge 4-1 win against the number 2 team in the country. And they were the better team tonight. We'll be back for game 2, but Emilio, tonight, Wisconsin won it. Michigan didn't just lose it. Wisconsin played a great game.
Yeah, you said it, Theo. Again, Michigan entering the game, the number 1 offense in the country, but we didn't really see that here tonight. They really struggled offensively. They didn't get a ton of good looks. Wisconsin applied pressure all night, got a ton of shots off, and ultimately just played a great game. Like you said, this is the first game, this is the first opening game that Michigan has lost this season, so it will be interesting to see how they respond tomorrow night.
After 60 minutes, Wisconsin the victors. They hail victorious over the victors of Michigan. 4-1. Thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports' production of Michigan Wolverines hockey. With Emilio Enriquez, I'm Theo Shernoff signing off for the night. We'll be back tomorrow on WCBN Sports. We leave you, as we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.